Hey, what's up? Thanks for checking out another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington, and I am solo again this week, but we still have to get into Halo. Season 2, episode number 5, Aleria, and wow, this, I don't know about this episode, but I will say this. My review last week of episode number 4, Reach, and I was like, wow, this is a really powerful episode. I gave it a 10, and the question I had was, what's going to happen moving forward? Are we going to have like these weird episodes where nothing is going on? This is one of those episodes. I will say this. There were some things that were sort of alluded to, introduced, and we're going to get into that a little bit. So Master Chief and what's popping off. So, they're trying to get off of Reach, right? And they're fighting the Covenant and the elites and everything else, right? And it's like, it seemed like it's only 4 people, right? And then next thing you know, the ship comes and, picks them up and everything else. And then Riz, what's going on with Riz? Vanek is dead, and I understand that no Spartan is left behind, but she went back and it looked like she got shot in the butt, right? But I don't know, right? But she got shot, and now she's sort of recovering, and she came to the realization that, you know what? I don't think I want to be a Spartan anymore. She sort of spoke about that when she was talking to the former Spartan, Lewis, if you remember. She was like, hey, I want to live. What's the life, after, what's life after being a Spartan? So Lewis was sort of introducing her to this new life, after being a Spartan, right? But she got injured. She could have continued to be a Spartan, but it would have taken a lot more work. So she was just like, you know what? I'm done. And so with her being done, Vanek being gone, Kai, we'll get to Kai in a minute. So now it's just Master Chief and Halsey. Halsey's pretty, what Halsey is, I'm starting to like Halsey more and more and more. She's cunning. She's super smart. The Spartans are her baby. So again, like I said last week, she's got to have something up her sleeve, because if Master Chief is the only Spartan from her program left, what is he going to do? Not unless he has like some super duper armor, totally new Cortana, new AI, able to just go in and just do things. Swiss cheese, folks. I'm not quite sure if that's going to happen, but we will see. It's still going to be pretty interesting because the storyline is picking up, even though this episode was a little slow, like I said, but the storyline is picking up. Now, what about Quan? I just want to talk about Quan too, right? So, last season, Quan, screaming, kicking, arms going. She was just a little bratty, right? Not understanding the power that she has, with her people. But this season, she's a bit more tamer, more mature. She understands, or she's starting to understand, who she is and what sort of power she has, right? So, I'm thinking like, wait a minute, is Quan going to be a major part of how Master Chief, defeats, I guess, Ackerman and everyone else at the UNSC or whatever it is? That's completely possible, right? She does know how to shoot a gun. We saw that on the ship. She knows how to shoot a gun, so we do know that, right? And then you come to Soren. What does he do? That's what I want to know. So now we had Reach last episode, and now we have this episode, and it looks like he's coming into his own. Him and his wife, I don't even know if that's his wife or his girlfriend, but him and his wife, they're like, looking for their son Kessler, and looks like the UN basically took his son. Why? Why did they take his son? Maybe bargaining or something like that, not sure. Are they gonna, make his son into like a new Spartan or something like that? That'd be really weird, but I'm not sure. And the other thing is, he's got the way his wife was talking to him, like, I'm scared, I'm upset, and I need you to be that way as well. Just like, oh, yeah, wait a minute. No. That's what you're dealing with. That's not what I'm dealing with. I deal with things a little differently. he was basically saying, But they did find out that, their son was taken. So, and now he's with the UNSC or whatever it is. This is very interesting. Why did they take Kessler? I mean, he's 10 years old. Why did they take him? I mean, I know the Spartans are taking as kids, like 10 to 14 and then transformed into Spartans, but I'm not quite sure what happened, right? Why they took Kessler, a 10-year-old boy, not sure. I think it's bargaining. I think it's just like a bargaining chip. I think it's something like that, And then just, speak about Halsey just a little bit. Halsey has something up her sleeve. It just seems that way. You can't take a brilliant mind, a brilliant scientist, a brilliant engineer like Halsey and just say, here's a lesser role for you in Halo. Halsey is super important to Halo, the Halo sphere. So we know that she's just not going to be second fiddle, or she's not going to just be reduced to some like really weird role or something like that. We know that Halsey, something's going to happen with her. Again, I kind of think that she, knows where the super duper Spartan armor is. She knows where, she knows how to contact Cortana, or at least she has a new AI that, possibly John could use. I mean, I don't know, it's just, but again, I think that Halsey has something going on, right? So I just think that, right? And here's the other thing. Why did they go to this planet? I mean, isn't the Covenant, basically glass and everything? Isn't this planet next on some level? So they just went to this planet like, hey, we're going to go here. It's a dust planet. It's basically a dust bowl, right? We're going to go here. We're going to see what's going on. This is where my son was, or this is where they said he was. Let's go, yada, yada, yada. It was also the place where, they basically sent Vatic back to the essence. So there you have it. So they cut back to Onyx, which is where, the UN basically bounced. And Kai is also there. So is Kai the new Master Chief? And, it seemed like she had a lot. I mean, all these Spartans took the emotional inhibitors out, right? So now they have all these emotions popping off, right? But is she the new Master Chief? It looked like she's the new Master Chief, but I kind of think that, at some point, Kai and Master Chief, will basically link up, and Kai's going to be like, this is your baby, I'm following you. I think that will happen. It also seems like there is a huge battle about to pop off. There has to be, right? Because you see that Kai and, the military, the Marines, they're all like gearing up for something very large, something very big. And here's the other thing too, right? If you come in as the new Halsey, like Ackerson, right? You're the new CEO, right? So you may want to clean house and bring in your own people, or at least people who you can trust or you think you can trust. So it's not unusual. It's not strange that Ackerson basically said, I'm not dealing with you. Everything was set up, like Halsey said, destroying Reach was the plan. It was the political plan. It had nothing to do with strategy, anything like that. This was the political plan. Let's get rid of the old. Let's bring in the new. Ackerson, Kai, this entirely new army. It looks like they have new uniforms on, the whole nine, So it's going to be really interesting to see what that looks like, right? But Kai as the new Master Chief? I'm not sure about that, right? And let's not forget about Maki, right? So this is really interesting. I think this may have been like the most interesting segment of this episode. Maki is convincing the Arbiter to maybe reconsider dealing with, those folks on Charity, right? Here's the thing, right? The Arbiter is basically a failed soldier, right? And so your last assignment is to do something. And if you fail, you're killed. And that's what this Arbiter is all about. He's just like, or it's just like, hey, you know what? I got to go in, I got to kill the demon, Master Chief, and then I will be forgiven and not killed, and then I can, carry on with my life as a soldier, yada, 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 right? Maki basically explained to him like, well, yes and no, right? But why are you dealing with them, right? We have some things that we can do. We possibly have Cortana that can help us. And do you imagine I know this would be so outside of the video game, I would believe, but can you imagine that Maki and the Arbiter, right? Or the Arbiter, right? Links up with Halsey, Master Chief, Quan, and Soren. Is that even possible? I'm putting it out there. But they were on their way to charity. And basically, they were talking about, hey, you know what? You're the person who can take us to Halo, yada, yada, yada. Then there was a totally different picture that was shown. I think Cortana basically did that. She did nod her head, So I think Cortana is like, I don't know. See, that's the most interesting thing about this episode is what happened with Maki and the Arbiter, right? And Cortana, what's going on? Are they going to join forces and try to defeat Charity and even the weird people who are now running, or the UNSC, I should say? I don't know, but this is going to be pretty interesting. Watch Maki. This episode was really interesting. Last night when I checked after I watched the episode, it looked like IMDb had it at a 7.1. I can see that this episode is in the 7 range. And in terms of just possibly thinking about where I would rate this episode, I'm going to rate this episode a 7. A lot of walking and talking. Some new things were introduced. They moved the storyline forward, it's not disturbing, but it feels like a creative edge has been taken away when you have these really fabulous episodes and then the following episode is just really weak. I think if you're going to have this episode that's a 10, then everything should be building from there. Not saying that you should have all 10s moving forward like Foundation. Remember, Foundation, the second season, basically episode 7 to 10, or I should say 6 to 10, they were all 10s, here on the Behind the Groove podcast channel. So that's what I'm talking about. If you're going to have a Bang Bang episode that's a 10, make sure that, the next episode is a 9. If you can get it to a 10, cool. I would be okay with an 8.5, but I'm giving this a 7 because, again, it's just a lot of walking and talking. It was good to see Halsey be Halsey. Did you see when John grabbed up Halsey and Halsey was looked at his arm dude, don't be grabbing me like that, okay? That ain't cool, John was okay, cool. Right, so again, I like Halsey. She just has the right amount of balls, She doesn't care, she understands what's going on. She's got to stop lying, stop hiding stuff. This is John. You guys are in it together. It's just the two of you. That's the only crew that's left. So it's basically here in terms of the old Spartan group, right? That's the only crew that's left. Halsey and Master Chief, right? But now I think the crew is going to be, right now, Halsey, Master Chief, Quan, I know I'm saying Quan, right? And Soren. So we're going to see how they're going to be able to put a crew together because 4 isn't going to do it. So I don't know, maybe Quan has something up her sleeve. Well, there you have it. Thanks for checking out another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.